What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. In today's video, we're going to be showcasing a climbing team from trainer MikeDaniel, who's sending in this team from us after having used it for some great gains over the course of this season. And that is going to be featuring the big, mighty, scary boy Guzzlord, who just wants to eat everything in sight, including your Drapions. And just, man, Guzzlord is such a good core breaker in this game. Whenever like the meta turns to things like Talonflame and Drapion and some other things, like Guzzlord has so much play into things that it's insane. And Malamar is also getting popular lately. In the back, we have its very common core mate, Toxapex. You can almost always expect, if you see a Guzzlord on the lead, there's probably a Toxapex. Honestly, Malamar, most dark types on the lead, going to be a Toxapex in back, and this team is no exception. And our safe swap is going to be Dugong, and that is setting off some alarms in my head because of the fact that I know that we're ABA weak to fighting. But think about this. All the fighters currently in this meta are extremely fragile. They're very glassy, like Annihilape and Pangoro, and these are Pokemon that Guzzlord can Dragon Tail through and then hopefully free up Dugong to be free in the back afterwards. And even if you lose the lead, you're going to be able to absorb energy on the Toxapex. So let's get into these games here and check out MikeDaniel piloting Guzzlord in the Great League and seeing just how good this team can be. Let's get into the first game. We're going to have Superior, really good lead here because, again, with the Dragon typing, you're resisting all the elements, right? You're going to be resisting water, fire, and you're going to also be resisting the grass from the Superior. But the opponent's going to safe switch into a Dugong, and MikeDaniel actually is going to stay in and get some chip damage and look to catch a move on the Dugong. Is he successful in catching this Icy Wind, or is it a Drill Run? The opponent did react in time. They did throw the Drill Run, but that HP difference, even though they had to take a little bit of super effective damage on the Guzzlord from those Ice Shards, they're still able to make a huge dent in the opponent's Dugong and guarantee that they're going to be able to basically get switch advantage here. So we're going to be seeing them go for this Drill Run. They're one away from the next. The opponent should be able to get to a move here, but it's going to be up to them whether they want to. Actually, you could possibly farm down. Opponent's going to swap in the Azumarill, and they don't know how boned they are in the back. Trainers, they just farmed up and drew the Toxapex out, and Toxapex, this is why you never save swap an Azumarill in this Great League meta. Toxapex could be lurking in the back, and it's just going to have an absolute field day farming down this helpless Azumarill that cannot do anything in this matchup other than look on in fears it's being pummeled into the ground by poison jabs. But MikeDaniel says, nay, I'm going to give this person mercy. I'm going to put them out of the misery, but the opponent shields, trying to save the Azumarill for later, most likely. They look to make a swap into the Dugong. You let this go. No, we're going to go ahead and shield. They throw the Icy Wind. How bad that feels to shield an Icy Wind, man. Opponent's going to drop into the Superior, though their switch clock is not yet back up, so MikeDaniel can safely pivot back into the Guzzlord and have a very strong matchup still. It's always had very strong matchups. This whole team does very well into grass, generally speaking. Unless it's Jumpluff, then only the back two do well into Jumpluff. But you know what? You could also be running Sludge Bomb if you wanted to. I think that's a fine thing you could try to do if you wanted to, you know, adjust the Guzzlord. You don't necessarily need Dragon Claw because you have the Dragon Tail damage, but you could go for Sludge Bomb instead. But we're going to have MikeDaniel throw on that Icy Wind, getting the final shield, has the double up. The Superior's going down, and Azu in the back in its little bunny boots, quivering in fear as its trainer closes the app in frustration, knowing that the game is over. Oh, just top left, man. Come on. The only person's time you're wasting is my poor viewers at this point. Goodness. Doesn't matter. We're going to dunk on him anyway. We're going for that Sludge Bomb or Sludge Wave, and just for the sake of it, as soon as the game unlags. Come on now. Perfection. Oh! Right into the next game, we got a Shadow Steelix. Now, Steelix used to run Dragon Tail, and this matchup was miserable, but now that they're on Thunderfang, this is a much more even matchup for Guzzlord, as both of us are doing both trainers are going to be doing not very effective damage here with the fast moves, but the Brutal Swing is where Guzzlord's going to have a chance to excel. Now, the opponent is faking a Earthquake here, most likely. Most of them don't run it, but they do have it. They actually have the Quake, and in comes Annihilape, and now this is actually quite difficult because Annihilape could certainly run through this entire team if it so wanted to. Because of the fact that we are relying on Guzzlord here to be our main counter to it. Even Toxapex, because of the poison jab, isn't really going to be an effective counter to this thing. But in comes the Dugong. Why are we sending in the Dugong? Wait, are we reading the Toxapex is good in the back? Perhaps it's a read that the Toxapex is good in the back. Or we're just going to sacrifice Dugong here to the greater good. Perhaps it has a higher purpose to serve back on the bench in its Pokeball. But ooh, no, we're going to be able to make it to the Icy Wind before my tongue slips out of my mouth and I can't speak words. Is where I was going with that. But the opponent has the Shadow Superior in the back. Toxapex can pretty much lock this down as long as they're able to get to 2 Sludge Waves or successfully bait. Might have to make a catch here. Those Shadow Frenzy plants are going to hit. Opponent's going to swap into the Steelix, and after sending that move, they're going to be basically out of energy. The Psychic Fangs here is not going to be enough to knock out, and we can almost go for the Brutal Swing, but it's not to be. And unfortunately, with no shields left, I don't know how on earth MikeDaniel's going to pull a win out of this one. Shadow Steelix, just a bit too much. I think if we had just... I don't know, man. It's hard to say. I think if we had just saved Dugong and not sent it in against the Annihilate, perhaps we would have been better off. Maybe bringing in Toxapex to start to stave off that damage. But either way, it's all good. We'll see where the game's not over yet. Toxapex is still alive and well, but I don't think we're going to be able to make it to the Sludge Wave before the opponent's making it to a charge move. So that's going to be our nail in the coffin, so to speak. And that's going to be a good game here. Well played. By the way, we're partnered with Advanced GG supplement products that help me in my time of need in the afternoons get through my lack of focus. The focus product sharpens me right up. And it's got open label product. It's all good stuff. They also do energy, sleep, and hydration. So any of those things, if they, if they appeal to you, I got links in the description and a coupon code to get 10% off your order. Would be awesome if I could just share the joy of this thing with someone else. Because man, I'm telling you, the focus supplement is just insanely good for me. It takes the afternoon brain fog and lifts it completely out. Anyway, enough about my whatever the hell. We have a matchup in front of us. Oranguru is kind of just grinding out this matchup with Trailblazes here, but Dugong is going to fire off this move, and that actually opens up the chance for us to get switch advantage. Does MikeDaniel want it? No, is very happy to let that go, and the opponent hard swaps in Toxapex. Ooh, this is a bit of a pickle. This is a bit of a pickle. So Toxapex basically has to carry the rest of the team on its back. That's basically all we got right now. So let's see how much damage we can put in with this Guzzlord before the Toxapex drops in. Now, if the opponent throws here, that'll be massive because that'll be just enough to knock out the Guzzlord if they throw the brine, possibly. Ew, no, it's going to be enough. Almost. But we have a Toxapex with 2 shields here, hopefully able to run through the rest of this team. Let's see if the opponent has in the back here that's ready to deal with the Toxapex. Because if they decide not to shield the Sludge Wave, theirs is gone. And there goes the Oranguru coming in just to get farmed down. And Toxapex will come back in to try and fire off what is likely a Sludge Wave. I would definitely be... Okay, no. The sick no shield here. I was expecting that to be a Sludge Wave, and I actually would have probably shielded that. So shame on me for expecting such things. But now the farm down. What do we have? No, they're able to get to a last second Brine. You have to shield something. You have to shield something. There's the Brine getting the first shield, and then in comes the Guzzlord. We just need to get to 2 Sludge Waves, and with this massive overfarm, I think it just might be possible. Opponent shields up here. They do have to get through 1 more shield on this Toxapex. Does Toxapex shield? Yes, they're going to have to shield here. Let's see if they can get to the move. They get to it. No! Oh, I missed it. Wait, does this knock out? Toxapex is bulky. Wait, Brutal Swing does not get the knockout. The Sludge Wave is reached, and there goes Toxapex. The crowd goes wild. Sludge Wave is going to knock it out. Beautiful. Good game. You love to see it. Malamar in the next game. Great lead. Opponent staying in, probably looking to throw a superpower before swapping out into whatever's in the back, but they're over farming by quite a bit, allowing this Guzzlord to get a move off. And honestly, given the back line, it's very good to see the Malamar here. Do you really want to spend a shield? Apparently the opponent is going to be getting the first shield here. I think that's a good call just for the sake that Guzzlord might be good against whatever's in the back based on what they're doing here, and I think that there might be a Drapion in the back. Opponent sends in, huh? Who still plays this thing? You see this? What is a Carbink doing here? Who safe swaps Carbink in a Mud Slap meta? Bro, huh? Okay. What? Who is this person? I just want to have a conversation. I just want to have a conversation. Also, boy, are we lucky. that we are able to get the Toxapex on this thing. And even still, I think I know Brine is a sucky move. I wonder if it's better to go for the Brine, because I think you get about 3 of them in the time it would take. Your opponent's going to come in with Venusaur. Dugong, though, it's down a shield. We are doomed here. I think that we might just have to let Guzzlord cook in the back and see what happens here. Oh, dude, this is rough. This is going to be rough, dude. Where are all these grass types? Every game has had a grass type so far. I never see the grass types when I need to. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Super Saiyan. Anyway, the Frenzy Plant's going to knock out this poor Dugong, but we have the opportunity to farm down with Guzzlord and get that energy. Ooh, no, they get to a move. It's over. Dude, that farm down was necessary. Why did they get the damage registration there? Oh, that's so unfortunate. Well played, because if he gets that farm down, he wins the game. Good game. Next game, we're gonna have a jump left lead. This is not what you want to see, because they have Fairy Wind, double super effective damage. We're safe swapping into the Dugong. Oh, I've seen this one before. They have the barrel. Oh, shield my eyes. That Bibarel is about to do naughty things to this Dugong, and that's not even the half of it, man. Oh my goodness. My goodness, children watch this. This is brutal. Children watch these videos. Did you know? What this beaver is doing is not okay. Hyper Fang is going to get the knockout on Dugong. Guzzlord's going to try to come in and maybe get a shield farm down here. It's hard, man, because you have to be able to sweep with the Toxapex, and they probably have. Oh no, they come in with an Annihilate. Wait, everything's okay again. Everything's okay again because we have Toxapex now. Maybe we can just use as much as possible of this Guzzlord to try and get rid of this thing. We're going to get a shield here, and then if Guzzlord he doesn't get the shield, that's unfortunate. Yeah, it would have been good to get that for them to no shield, but they're always going to shield with the Annihilate there. Poison jabbing down is going to be a tough thing to do here, especially when the opponent has so much energy they can just start ramping up their Annihilate damage. This is rough, man. I'm just going to watch. We can watch it together. You have to throw. I think you have to throw a Brine. Yep. I think you have to throw the Brine here and try and get that shield or get rid of the Annihilate and just hope, because the opponent having the jump fluff in the back plus whatever's left here of their. Yep, they just come in with a jump fluff because they don't have a whole lot of health left. They're gonna have a bad time. This is a 2-shielded Toxapex looking to run right through. The opponent likely gonna try to make a catch attempt at some point here though. But as long as they don't make that catch, they're going to be fine. Going for 2 sludge waves here, one to get the shield and one to knock out the jump fluff is what we're going to need. The opponent is going. Why are we? Mike, please. Why did? No, you. Ooh. That was supposed to be. Oh, you're so lucky. If they don't shield that, you lose on the spot. Whereas you could safely just go for the double sludge wave. Trainer, please. Oh, you lucky. Good game. Oh, it worked in his favor. Thank goodness. We're getting into the next set, though. Good times ahead. Dragonite on the lead. Guzzlord does have a slight bulk advantage here, and these Dragon Claws are going to rip this Dragonite in half. Now, if the opponent does throw on good timing, I've seen on the occasion where if you throw right away, you're going to take. If the opponent throws right away, you get the whole Dragon Tail through, which is huge. Now, opponent's going to come in with a Chestnut. They cannot farm down with Vine Whip here. They will have to throw. And quite honestly, I think that it's really, really just grand and wonderful we got that shield, because that's going to help us in the long run. The opponent deciding that a shield was necessary because they absolutely have to get rid of this Guzzlord, I think. If this is their best response to Guzzlord, I don't think they have much of a response to Guzzlord. Now, them having Thunder Punch, however, is incredibly difficult to deal with here. The Thunder Punch will do some damage. They have quite a bit of farm. I don't know they're getting a 2, but they're going to opt to go for the harder hitting Frenzy Plant. And in comes the Superior here, looking to get the move in, but just the CMP tie here to have to take a Frenzy Plant first. Going to get this CMP tie in, though. That means that we're going to be able to get the shield, or the Superior is going to have a bad day. But in comes Dugong, and with the shield advantage, Dugong does cleanly get to an Icy Wind here. And I think that this is basically going to be the game, unfortunately, for the opponent. But we'll have to see how this unfolds. But we're definitely going to shield the Frenzy Plant. I would have loved to see an overfarm here. You know they just threw the Frenzy Plant. You can overfarm at least a couple more Ice Shards pretty safely without having to worry about them getting to a charge move. I know that we win anyway, but just min-maxing, being as efficient as possible, so to speak. That would have been the ideal thing to do there. But anyway, good game, well played, all that fun stuff. Into the next game we go. Yeah, Hypno, hello! Spice Cabinet is wide open, and it's got your name on it, buddy. All right, so in comes a Diggersby. We're looking to go for a brutal swing and all kinds of frame drops happening. And I haven't heard as many, things about them being as bad as they used to be, but my goodness, is it unfortunate to see things get altered in the game, like over-tapping, because of the fact that you took that extra frame drop. Now, unfortunately, the opponent does get the 2 moves here, so I don't know that shielding that was the most efficient use of the shield, but I do love that in this case we're over farming, because they just threw the Scorching Sand. So kind of correcting the gameplay from earlier, or showing it off even. MikeDaniel's out here saying, look at this, I got this, man. We're going to see the opponent come in with Dunsparce, and that is just what we needed to see. Guzzlord is going to be doing just fine against that Hypno, and Toxapex can come in at any point here, basically, to try and get rid of the opponent's Dunsparce. I think that this is just an easily won game here. The opponent's Hypno, unfortunately, the only win condition that it could possibly have is if it had a shield advantage and a Focus Blast, which it does not. This brutal swing is going to brutally put a lot of damage into this Hypno, and the opponent is forced to shield, and they throw right away, allowing a free fast move to go through. And MikeDaniel knows this isn't even nearly enough for anything that's going to do a one-shot here, so he's going to look to go for the brutal swing once again. You want to be throwing these ideally on 1 or 5 if you can, but at some point you just kind of got to get the damage in as well. So going straight for it here, living just enough to be able to get this move in. Those double resisted Shadow Confusions still doing a fair amount to the Guzzlord's HP, which is literally at 1 at this point. Taking the game here, well played. Guzzlord into Steelix. Once again, we saw this before, and they are on Thunderfang. Now, the Steelix in this matchup is a non-shadow, and it is a significantly less damage, it looks like, from the HP bar. It looks like they're actually, like, the Thunder things are noticeably doing less damage here, which is really good for Guzzlord, which really did not need to deal with the rest of this thing. But the opponent does land the Earthquake, and unfortunately that is going to put Guzzlord in a really bad spot to be able to continue battling later on in this game. And the opponent's going to come in with Annihilate, and what do we do against Annihilate? We are just going to have a bad time. Toxapex is going to look to come in and try and make a difference here, and we are just going to have to hope that perhaps there is a chance that they are weak to Dugong in the back. But the opponent having Thunderfang on the Steelix, it means you cannot let a potential Earthquake through with this team. You have to put up your shields with the against the Steelix in order to be able to get rid of it. And then, of course, there just happens to be the Annihilate in the back, ready to go, ready to just rip you in half with those Rage Fists as they just completely ramp up the damage of this Annihilate. Now, if this was a Shadow Annihilate, we'd be done already. This would be, this thing would have punched through the Toxapex. Now, we're going to have to put all of our faith into Dugong and these double boosted Rage Fists, dude. In comes Dugong trying to do something here, and the opponent is going to be able to reach the Rage Fist. You have to shield this. It's a ton of damage. It's double boosted. Oh, Dugong, please carry us. They have they have a Superior in the back, and I think that we might just be able to get to the move. That would be too, no, they were going to get to the Frenzy Plant, so it's going to take a really nice catch, but we're not going to get there. But the opponent comes in with the Steelix, and the Thunderfangs are ripping us apart, and Dugong unable to get to the energy needed to get to 3 moves to take this thing out. Going for the cheeky little drill run here just to say, you know what, I can still fight. Dugong's going to knock out the Steelix, but it's not going to matter because Toxapex is going to come in and is going to get shut out by this next charge move, and the Dugong does not have enough HP to withstand until it gets to a farm down here. So unfortunately, the Superior will be taking the superior role in this as the winner, but we're going to get into the next game. Next game, we have Ariados on the lead. This is a deceptively bad matchup because of the fact that the opponent has those lunges to do super effective debug type damage, but we're safe swapping into the Toxapex, and the opponent comes in with the Diggersby, and that is exactly why you don't want to safe swap a Toxapex either, because it's so slow and it takes so long to get the charge moves. This opponent's Diggersby, if played right, can completely farm up as much energy as they please and dominate this matchup because they just have so much control over everything. So I know it's tough, but safe swapping Toxapex, more often than not, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but more often than not, it is a recipe for disaster and how to lose a game. Same way that, you know, if you safe swap a Azumarill and they put like you know, a grass type on it, or if they decide to put a Toxapex on it, you just basically lose on the spot to that energy. Guzzlord is going to come in here, though, and try to get a farm down. Opponents get into a charge move here. They had so much energy. There's no way this isn't a Scorching Sand. It's going to do a ton of damage, but no attack drop, which is really nice. 2 shields still in play on both sides. Going to have to see if the thing in the back is worth the shield. Opponent's going to come in with the R8os, and unfortunately, MikeDaniel is caught off. Needing to get this fast move damage, and we cannot bring in... Oh, and they go for it on the CMP. Double drops from the lunges, and a charge move forced in here. But you still can't let Dugong come in and get that thing off with Trailblazes. You just can't do it. Opponent comes in with a... Oh, the worst case scenario. Opponent comes in with a Corsola. And Guzzlord needed to clutch this up. If Guzzlord didn't have 2 debuffs, it would have been an absolutely prime situation. But now I think that this might be it. Now, Guzzlord does win CMP if we get the shield at any point from this Corsola, which I don't think is going to happen, to be honest. But we might... Nope, the opponent is counting properly. They're going to be able to throw the move on this... on the Dugong here. And they're going to be... Oh, gonna get to... Gotta go! Oh, throw it! Throw it! Hold on. Mikey needs moves here. He's going to go for the brutal swing. He gets it in time. Can he get... Dude, that opponent threw 2 moves and left. There is no way that they have enough to get to the move. Can we knock that? This knocks out. Has to knock out. MikeDaniel worked so hard for this win. Give it to him. Give it to him, Niantic. Let's go. He takes the win against all that. Good game. That was the best game I've seen so far, not gonna lie. That was the one. If I'm picking one out of the whole video, that was it. Malamar in the lead once again. Really nice matchup here. Opponent normally is gonna go for the superpower. Sometimes they decide to overfarm. I've seen most of them try to go for superpower and then dip, unless their energy or their Pokemon in the back did not appreciate seeing this. Do we safe switch the Toxapex? Mike, I just want to have a conversation, dude. I just want to have a conversation, and this is exactly why you will never ever have a good time safe swapping Toxapex in a meta that is dominant by Galarian Corsola and Mud Slap users. They even shield. They know what they're getting out of this, and unfortunately for them, this second brine is reached, putting some pressure onto the opponent's Marowak. It is going to bring them very low. They can always shield one, let the next one go, or vice versa. And Guzzlord's going to come in looking to do a little sick little catch there. Nice little peekaboo. Here he goes. Bone Club is taken here, but the opponent's getting to another charge move. Do we shield this? Is it another Bone Club? It could be the Rock Slide, and MikeDaniel calls it. Very nice redirection of energy there, and the opponent's going to come in with Drapion, and this is exactly what the Guzzlord should be seeing, because Guzzlord can completely wall off the energy on the Drapion. The opponent lets the drill run through, hoping to catch an Icy Wind, but all they're catching are these hands, and Dugong is going to be able to laugh in the face of this Dugong, or Dugong is laughing in the face of this Dugong. Opponent immediately concedes with the Guzzlord being brought back in, and that is a 7-3 run up north of 2,800. MikeDaniel making a really good stretch with this team here, getting up to a ton of elo, getting up here to this season high. And I have heard he's still climbing to this day. I haven't heard. I don't think he's hit legend yet, but I know he's working on it. He's very close. His team has been clutching it up for him this season. And hopefully at this, last stage of the season, I'd like to hope that maybe, just maybe, it might help you guys too. That's why I wanted to share it. So appreciate y'all for hanging out with me and watching the video. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.